Hello, everybody. I'm back home. If you watched our regular episode of congratulations, um, no, the National House Party for Dr. Cornel West and Dr. Melina Abdullah, um, we had a lot of technical difficulties, and I don't know if it was just my day for technical difficulties, but we had a day. I don't expect to stay on this podcast very long. I want to thank everybody that participated. We had a virtual call, which I will load up tonight. You'll see that episode hopefully sometime by either later on this evening or early tomorrow morning. Before I get started, I didn't even put in here to visit the website. And I'll put the website in here so I can at least be consistent. I'll have it here in just a moment. Please visit the website at, oh my goodness, that is not right. We're going to put the right website up. We're going to put the right website up. Hold on. Here is the right website, cornelwest2024.com. That's where you can learn how to volunteer, how to donate, learn about the platform. Like I said, I expect this to be a very, 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 very short podcast. Like I said, we had after all the technical difficulties got finished doing what they were to do. We got finished around 6. But it took me, for some reason, it took me a long time to get home. So I literally got home at 7:20 and said, you know what, I'm going to go live to kind of do a recap. I'm not promising, I don't think it'll happen, that I am hoping to get people to check and possibly don't count on it. It's something I'm possibly hoping for. It probably won't happen. Um, but again, this is a movement in a moment, or a moment within a movement. I'm sorry, a moment within a movement. The campaign is taking off. Um, there's some news I want to share, and I'm hoping I got this still up. Let's see. The campaign, as you know, the Democratic Party makes me sick. They've been suing. Well, first they offered Dr. West. Um, he revealed that the DNC or Democrats had approached him about getting out of the race, endorsing Harris, and promised a cabinet seat and some cash to do so. If that doesn't beat all, I mean, they're sitting here like telling the public, oh, he's not viable. He's a nothing burger. Nothing can be had of this campaign. It's just a waste of time for him to do this. It's the two parties get used to it, but yet you're offering money to somebody to drop out. Please explain. I wish that people who the vote blue, no matter who crowd, would actually comment, because I don't understand your theory. You're telling me he's nothing to worry about. Harris will win, and um, he's a Russia bot. He's not serious, etc., etc. But again, you're offering him money and a cabinet position. Not just any position. I'm talking about a cabinet position. Cabinet positions are extremely important. Um, I, how do you even defend that? I'm sure vote blue, no matter who, they'll have some kind of defense for it, but you really can't. I mean, you're telling the public, oh, no, there's nothing to worry about. He won't take our votes. First of all, votes don't belong to you. Can we say that? Votes don't belong to you. Votes do not belong to you at all. They never have. They never will. They have to be earned. That's the first thing. But um, I was going to make a second point and I forgot it. I'll get to it. I know I'll remember what I was going to say. Um, it's just amazing to me that no matter what the Democrats do, somebody's out there defending them. Somebody's out there defending their genocide and their total abandonment of the American people. Somebody's out there saying, well, you got to work within the system that you have. No, that's why things are the way that they are now. We need a candidate, and we deserve a candidate that is outside of this crooked, deficient, deformative duopoly. We need to get rid of the two-party system. It must go away. It must be destroyed. We can't just keep going on like this. We can't. We can't afford to. We've been voting either Democrat or Republican, well, mostly my whole life. And independent hasn't made headway since Ross Perot. And then after that, they were like, oh, we better change ballot access. And you notice that's when it changed. And the media doesn't help either. They just tell people you're stuck with these two choices. No, you're not. You have a reasonable choice to make. And that's Dr. Cornel West for president. His platform, which I could go over, but I'm going to do that next week. Instead of this week, because this again is supposed to be the recap show. If you're watching, comment please. I want to know at least somebody's out here watching. I see some people, but I don't see anybody like commenting yet. So please comment. But I'll do the platform, the rest of the platform. I think I left off with racial justice. I think that's where I left off. But I may start from the beginning and just go straight through. So I plan on doing the platform next week. So this, like I said, is a recap of the house parties that happened today. So if you haven't been living under a rock for the past, 4 weeks? I've been talking about the National House Party, the National House Party, the National House Party. Well, today was the National House Party. It was my plan to go live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got to the facility, and they don't have internet access after 4 o'clock. So we had to get a hotspot, me jump in a car, and do the Zoom meeting, which again, that Zoom meeting will be on, I'm going to load that up as soon as this gets done, and I hope it'll be on tonight. We had, from what I know or was told, I believe we had around 40 participants who joined us via Zoom, and obviously the other ones were having their own individual house parties, so they didn't join us in the Zoom, but just an all-around success. A successful day. We're going to keep the energy going because, again, this is a moment within a movement. We're not going away after the election. So I would, if I'm you, don't expect us to go away after the election. Like, oh, we're done. We're just going to pack it up and wait for more years. No, that's not going to happen. Expect a lot of news from the Justice for All party. No, a minute. Justice for, yeah, I was trying to make sure I got the name right. Justice for All party. That'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. Now, again, I'm kind of just waiting here to see if either somebody's going to come on. Like I said, I doubt it, but it would be really nice to see how these house parties went. Oh, I know what I was talking about. Um, I was talking about the fact that Dr. West made the ballot in Georgia, and they keep trying to take him off. I'll get back to that point here in a second. Or matter of fact, I'll do it now. North Carolina. No, I'm going to read you off the official states. I'm going to read you all the states that Dr. West is on the ballot. And I can share this website, and hopefully YouTube won't take it down. Let me see. I'm trying to find it here in the background, so if you don't see me. Okay, let's see. What? And I'm going to share the screen too. Since nobody wants to comment, somebody comment, please. Please, please, please comment. So I know I'm not here by myself because I can see people watching. So just say hello. Okay, so we're going to go to the website. Okay, so here is a map of the United States. The colors, gray is pending state certification. That orange color is on the ballot. The kind of burgundy color is official write-in candidate. And the gray, the light kind of powdery white, grayish is no write-in options. So we know that Arkansas does not have a write-in option. We learned that when our guests from Arkansas were on. So we have officially reached the bell. Oh, let me backtrack this. So I'm trying to go. Okay, so definitely on the ballot in Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, Wisconsin. I'm going to go ahead and throw in Michigan because I think we're making the ballot there. I definitely think we're going to make the ballot in Pennsylvania. Definitely think we're going to make the ballot in Virginia. I'm going to say making the ballot on North Carolina and South Carolina and Alabama. I think Alabama's a write-in candidate. Yes, Alabama's officially a write-in. Now, you'll see there's a lot of states that are officially write-in candidacies. And try not to get discouraged by that. That's where I kind of struggled this time because I kept saying, well, there's 50 states and how can you not be on all these states? Keep in mind that the process to get on a state ballot is extremely hard, especially when people don't know, you don't have the volunteers that you should. And by the way, go to CornelWest2024.com to sign up as a volunteer. But when you don't have enough volunteers, it's hard. So we had our first state to check in. Hello.
Hey, Tracy.
Yes. How are you? And tell us where you're from and your name.
We are calling in from Snohomish, Washington, which is outside of Seattle. I'm Gloria Winters. Next to me over here is my daughter, Maris Winters. Over there at the table, still chattering. Our two more friends so far. We're still waiting to see if a few more people are going to show up, but we decided it was time to go ahead and give you a call.
Well, I'm glad you did because I'm like, well, somebody please check in. I know people are having parties somewhere. I know there's a house party somewhere in the United States of America. Now, Indiana decided, you know what, we're going to show off. We're going to have ours virtual. We did a virtual and an in-person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we did both. And that park oh no, I should have stayed my behind at home. It ended up great. We had 44. No, we had 40 participants.
Sweet.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yes, I know. I was really surprised. But we had 40 participants. And I was the ending was definitely better than the beginning because I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna cry, and then I'm just gonna not do anything anymore, and then that's just gonna be it, and I'm just gonna. It did not start out good, but it definitely ended up good.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yeah, lovely.
Maybe that'll happen for us too. We have somebody who had a flat tire on the way, so they still haven't made it.
Oh yeah, it seems like today was gonna be like this is gonna happen to Tracy today. Not yesterday. Not yesterday would have been like I could have made plans and moved around. Today. I planned on going to the hairdresser today because I wanted to look halfway decent. Did it happen? No, it didn't. That's where you're supposed to say you look fine.
That's great. It looks quite fine.
That's great.
I thought you made it to the hairdresser. That's what I thought.
No, now come on now. Now don't go that far. But I was just going over the states where Dr. West has made the ballot.
Yeah, sweet.
Washington is one of those.
Yes.
Thanks to yay, CJ.
Thanks to all everybody as well. Yes.
And I know you all have way less signatures to get than we have.
Yeah.
How many signatures did you end up collecting?
We got 1,300.
And that's 300 above what you needed.
Yep.
Right.
And we got 1,001 accepted, so it was right. Perfect.
And
Yeah, 'cause
what
they-
was my question?
they-
Since none of you have ever been on the show before, now I'm going to do this one. Yeah, I'm going to have 4 guests here. Oh, well, we're going to just do this question. I know, because we, in Indiana, we had to get 37,963 signatures.
That's great.
Whoa!
Yes. A state of 6 million people. But we have to get 37. They make it 2% of whatever the Attorney General's race is. It's 2% of that. Yeah, so we, and that's the system that we did. We did there was a case that was brought to court by the Indiana Green Party and the Indiana Libertarian Party. It was denied. They appealed it, but they of course put off the appeal until after the election. Yeah, so Indiana is just not. I'm just like, I want to move, but the cost of living is so reasonable. But I know you guys have heard this one. A vote for Dr. West is a vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Who has not heard this? This is like the go-to. It's like, no, my vote for Cornel West is my vote for Cornel West.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But it's
yeah. I loved one of the interviews I heard where he took that one down, and I was like, that's so right, because people are voting for who they actually believe would be the best candidate.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you.
Choice, right?
You know what? I've heard people literally tell me they agree with Dr. West's platform.
Yeah.
But they're still voting for Kamala.
Right.
I don't know why, but I mean I know why they say they're voting for her.
Right.
And make a lick of sense to me. But people literally, what I've noticed is they will literally vote against their own interests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They'll say, I want the war in Gaza to end. So, okay, I want the war in Gaza to end, the war in Congo to end, the war in Syria to end. We don't want no more forever wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to go vote for a candidate who literally said at her convention, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, did Kamala Harris suggest that she was going to get in war with Iran? Or did I just miss some? Did I just miss some?
She has the same hawkish opinions that all the duopoly candidates have to have in order to keep the state happy. And
Yeah, because I'm like, well, maybe I'm missing it. So I went back and listened. I'm like, no, I didn't miss it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found there were a few words that were really hard for me to kind of tolerate.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really can't say. I mean, I love the joyfulness. I love the decency. I loved all that. That's great and fine. But it's when it will be the most lethal force in the world, and I'm like, I don't think we need help being the most lethal force in the world, and I'm not sure that's the best plan for us. Either.
I just want to know, what did Iran do to us? Didn't we have an arms deal with Iran?
Yeah, we did.
I'm like, what happened? Trump got out of it. Biden didn't re-enter. Do they just want war? I'm answering my own question. Of course they want war.
Yeah, there's a long history, I think, in there. I find it so complicated to try to unravel and learn about it. I feel like it's an important thing for me to do, but it gets so convoluted so quickly. And trying to find the people who can help me learn that is also really difficult because, it's not in the best interest of the powers that be for us to actually understand how complicated it is.
Yeah. One of our volunteers, Zaid, I believe, I don't know if he's been on your show, but I think he tried to sign up to get on your show, but he has a very deep and encyclopedic knowledge of Middle Eastern politics, and he would be a great person to talk to.
What's the name of the person?
Zaid A. I don't know exactly his last name.
Yeah, I don't think
I'll make sure to remind him to get on the podcast. He's wanted to get into podcasting, so that would make sense.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, do
That'd
that.
be great. He's one of the people we're waiting for right now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, we played trivia question. We had trivia questions. We just had a really good discussion about, why it is we support Dr. West.
Nice.
And we all said the same thing. He's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
He's been consistent over 40 years. He still has the same message about Palestine that he's always had.
Right.
He doesn't say, I want to give more aid to the Palestinians. Meanwhile, you give Netanyahu billions of dollars and not expect me to notice the hypocrisy.
Yeah, I know.
How do you do that one?
I know Kamala Harris can't talk about Palestine without first mentioning her commitment to Israel and all
It's like, wait a minute.
That completely nullifies it, right?
That doesn't make sense to me. And I keep telling this story. I made a post on my Facebook page, which I'm still not going to apologize for. I'm like, if you vote for this ticket, you're for genocide. I can't figure out, my mind is saying, if you're against genocide and you say you're against genocide, don't vote for the candidate that's for genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Just go opposite. And it's like, people are like, no, but I don't live in Palestine. Palestinians don't care about me. I'm like, so injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked.
Only argument I've heard that makes the tiniest bit of sense to me is Kamala Harris being slightly more easily pressured, like public pressured, than Donald Trump to be pro-Palestine. Like, she's not going to be there, but maybe she'll be more easily swayed than Biden would.
But the thing is, the people who vote for it don't even try. They just
no, because it's like if Trump were doing the same thing that this administration is doing right now, the Democratic Party would be in the street protesting. They would literally be in the street protesting. But because their guy is doing it, and by extension Harris, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
I think the economic issue is one that everybody's afraid to touch. That's my sense. It's like, if we actually started taking apart our military-industrial complex, the economy would start to suffer. I mean, we're here in Seattle. We're home of Boeing.
Yep.
And boy, oh boy, to have that industry impacted would have caused a world of hurt in our community. And so to vote against a quote-unquote healthy economy, whatever that's supposed to mean, I think is a place where I don't think people do it consciously. I don't think they're aware of that consciously, but it's what I hear so often in the majority parties. It's about the economy. It's about the economy. It's about the economy. And it's a great conundrum for me because I think at some point we are going to have to deal with that. We're going to have to figure out how we provide living wages and appropriate food on the table and housing and all of those issues without being absolutely dependent on
War in Iran.
war somewhere else in the world. Exactly.
Well, there's universal based income.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of ways.
A bunch of ideas.
People, the level of political engagement that most duopoly voters are at is not enough to figure that out on their own, and they don't really have much of an incentive to. And I guess the point of movements like this is to bring those issues to the forefront, and to really boost that discussion.
I think what frustrates me most is people will tell me exactly what the problem is with the two-party system,
mm-hmm.
and then they'll go vote for it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I'm like, what are you? What are you doing?
Habits, right?
I broke that habit. It can be broken.
I'm working on it. I haven't yet. I think plenty of places where I'm just, it's so easy. It's like, well, that's the way and it's not like I've always been a Democrat even, right? I grew up as a Republican. It's like, because that's the way my house was. And then then I worked in a world and saw this thing and I realized, oh, I think I want to hang with those guys. And then you work in the world a little longer and you realize, oh, maybe wait a minute, maybe I'm not okay here. And I think Webster, my son, was one of the ones who was like, last time around with Bernie Sanders, like, Mom, what are you doing? You're saying this, but you're actually, don't you want to be supporting this other person? I'm like, I don't know. Let me think about that some more.
And if one more person tells me I'm throwing away democracy,
democracy can't handle people running in it. It's not much of a democracy, is it?
Exactly.
I'm like, you cannot be serious. The party that literally sues, how many states has Dr. West been sued in? North Carolina, Maine, Michigan. Let's see, North Carolina. It's at least 5 states that he's been sued on, and he's been kicked off the ballot and had to sue. I'm like, what democracy is it that you're talking about? Where is it at? I don't see it.
Yeah. It's just, I think that's been a revelation for me. I think in this process, being a part of this, recognizing how the majority parties, the Democrats and Republicans, have been just trying harder and harder to make sure that these other things don't exist. And it was fun to look at that list you sent out today, CJ, showing all the parties that are actually going to show up on the Washington state ballot. Yeah. It's like, wow, there were that many people who figured out how to collect these signatures and actually put a name forward.
But they don't know what they're doing. They're influenced by Russia and the media.
What was that? I missed that.
I said we don't know what we're doing by voting for Cornel West. We should just vote for Kamala Harris. After all, she's more Palestinian friendly than Biden.
Barely. I mean, but she's been the vice president is the largest, rebuts that. Like, she's been there this whole time, Yeah, how
do you run on a better agenda and you're in the administration? Are you going to say the administration was a failure? Is that what you're going to say? Like, you're trying to have it both ways.
I think the line that I've heard her use is like, well, we had all these plans, but then some other things happened, and we had to break our focus. But now that we dealt with that, now we can do these things that we wanted to do in the first place.
I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know if you guys ever have seen my video on why the Democrats will not codify Roe v. Wade. They're never going to do it. If you couldn't do it when Obama had 60 senators and the House and the presidency, what? You've had 4 Democratic presidents: Carter, Clinton, Obama, Biden. I've all had majorities.
Mm-hmm.
How come it's not codified?
Exactly.
And conversely, the Republicans don't want to ban it nationally. That's the one where I get to keep it. Oh yeah, they do. I'm like, no, they don't. They just fundraise off of it. That's literally what they do.
It's just such a bizarre political world where with all the parties, they want these goals, but they don't actually, because if they do get it, then they can't fight it with each other about it, and they don't have any power. It's so confusing.
Right, I know. I'm like,
Exactly how this works too.
and if I hear the word bipartisan one more time,
That's a good-
oh, yeah. I cannot. Well, I'm going to reach across the aisle. Why am I reaching out? If I believe that the Republicans, if I'm a Democrat, which I'm not,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting here calling you racist, why am I reaching across the aisle to you? For what reason? What are we working on together? Like, what issue are we going to come to? The core is you're racist. Why am I working with you again?
Exactly.
Oh man.
I just wish I wish that we didn't have, like I said, Indiana is a hard state. A hard, difficult state. But we tried our best. We did our best. And it just wasn't good enough. But we do get to write his name in.
Oh, good.
We do get to write his name in, but
Okay.
Lovely.
we wanted the 38,000 signatures, but
In collecting those, are you allowed? Like here, we're not allowed to go door to door. Are you allowed to do that in Indiana?
we are allowed to go door to door.
I mean,
Oh.
that's still an absurd number of signatures to get.
Right.
I think Texas has like 145,000, and they can't ask people that voted in the primary. I'm
Oh,
like, you gotta be joking.
Yeah.
I know New York is 45,000. I know the Jill Stein campaign turned in 50,000 in Indiana, but they got it just under the required. So they kept 35,000, making her like 1,000 and some short. Gee, I wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
So she won't be. She's a write-in candidate also, unless they sue, but they probably won't.
Yeah.
Because
It might be too late to sue too. It depends.
yeah, Indiana is just Trump. If Trump country were a person, it would be the state of Indiana. It would literally be the state of Indiana. I'm like, it's more Trump country than Texas, Kentucky, any state that I can name. I'm like, yep, it's more red than that.
Isn't that where Parks and Rec took place in
Yes.
Indiana? Is there any places like that in real life in Indiana these days, or is that?
I
Is that
stay in Indianapolis, so I don't too much get outside the city.
Mm-hmm.
It might be. I would guess there would be, but I don't. I mean, when I say I stay in Indianapolis, that's pretty much where my focus is. I don't try to travel outside of it because it's just, and nobody take this offensively, it's just a lot of cornfields.
Yeah.
There's just cornfield after cornfield after cornfield. I'm like, okay, I gotta see buildings. I gotta see a building somewhere, a hospital, a school, or something. I gotta see something. What are you guys doing in terms of after the election? Is there any talk of organizing like a Justice for All of Washington?
Yeah, we are going to do the Justice for All Washington party. In Washington, it's also pretty easy to make a political party, so we're going to do that and focus on more charitable works and more fueling social movements. That's kind of going to be our focus.
Yeah. Now, surprisingly, in Indiana, it's very easy to start a political party.
Oh, good.
Ballot access is crap, but you can start a political party as long as once you raise over $200.
Oh, wow.
That's when you have to turn in your constitution.
Do we need that actually?
I killed it.
Let's
That was the rumble of the campaign coming through. Yeah, so
It's fine. That's
Oh,
just the
this is coming back on.
screen.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I
there
get-
was old TV and it died again, and
Ah.
now we have to ship things.
Yep. So I was just talking about the plans for the show. People are like, what are you going to do after the election? To be honest, I have not. I'm answering my audience's question, not necessarily a question you guys have.
Mhm.
I don't know what this show is going to be after the election. I have no idea. I haven't thought about it. I don't know. I don't even know should I continue the show after the election.
Mhm.
So I have to kind of go because it's a lot to get guests on.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But, I would love to see people run for Congress, people run for school boards, people run for local office because, like, what, half of the seats go unopposed? Like, nobody even runs for them?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we could have those.
Yeah, and to create a larger community of people who understand kind of the fundamentals or the pillars,
Mhm.
the ways in which the Justice for All Party wants to be functioning, which is so different from the way the major parties do. That to offer that to the community just seems like a really smart place to be. And maybe it'll take us 50 years to become something where people are like, oh, wait a minute.
Mhm.
Look at those people. I like what they're doing. I like what they're saying. I like what they're about. It may take, nothing comes, I've yet to find anything worthy that happens really easily, right? And that's kind of not the way the world works. So putting in the effort to make, well, and gosh, Tracy, you've been doing a ton of work to make this happen, right?
Exactly.
Like, thank you for your efforts to make this, even these events today coming to play. It's a ton of work to make that happen. You have to overcome people like me who are terrified of having a party at my house and inviting strangers, Yay! I knew all the people who are here today so far. I want you to show up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, everybody invite the person that you don't like. I'm just like anybody.
Well, that's true too. I think that would have, that's where it gets that much harder, and I've got to work on my courage, I think.
Yeah, I think, we're all just so like part of us are tired.
Mm-hmm.
And there's times when I'm just like, okay, I can't anymore. I'm tired of fighting with people. I can't do it no more. It's just some days I'm like, just forget the campaign. Not voting for Harris. I'm telling you now, I'm not voting for Harris. I'm just like, I'll write your name in, but me working, no, I'm gonna step back. And then something happens and I'm like right back in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we have to come to terms with is sometimes you do have to take a little break.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not a 15-year break, not a 25-year break or a 5-year break, because again, elections are hard work.
They are, yeah.
And the higher it goes, the more work it is.
And it's the narratives and the vibes, because that's the word everybody's using. They do change, right? And the vibes right now are very much in Harris's favor, but she still is the same type of politician. I mean, all the things that she says, has the same lines that all the standard politicians would. So the root of that discontent that existed with Biden are still there, right? It's just kind of a temporary little adrenaline shot. So, even if maybe right now isn't like the best time to swim up that stream, but as long as you stick around and when the currents change, then at least we're still around, right? To seize that opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a major re-education level because, first of all, we have to engage non-voters.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one thing. If you get that group, okay, the rest of you do whatever you're going to do. We got this group over here that used to didn't vote, but now they're voting. Number one. Second, it's going to take a lot to sit down and tell people, hey, this party is working against your best interests. Stop voting for them. Nothing's going to change. You're going to get more murder, more wars, more pollution, more homelessness, and I don't believe that about the 3 million houses at all. If she builds 3 million houses, I'll be the first one to be like, I was so wrong.
Yeah. I know. When she said that, I was just like, well, you and what are? How do you can't even build a border wall. What makes you think you can build 3 million houses?
No, they did build the border wall, I thought.
They thought they wanted to try. The Democrats tried to pass it, but then in their narrative, Trump made some phone calls and stopped them. But I don't know what happened. But there's not currently a border wall. I mean, there are some fenced sections, but by and large,
But Mexico's going to pay for it, right?
Right, yeah, that would be great. Just let them do it.
And Mexico's like, we didn't say anything about paying for any wall at any time. It's just, I wish I was a better communicator because I'm just like, stop voting against yourself.
I think
Stop it.
I'm really excited about the possibility in like 6 months and a year when people like all the energy going to Kamala Harris right now.
Mm-hmm.
Big opportunity again. Like I don't know. I feel like there might have been a similar thing with Obama. It's like we have a big opportunity for people to have like really get engaged and then be like, oh wait a second, this party is not actually serving my interests.
Yeah.
But like to see that they have to like want them to first.
But the problem is like the way that a lot of Democrats view their own political party. It's like a sports team, right? It's not a rational proposition.
It's not rational at all.
Yeah. So it's like trying to convince someone to be a fan of a different sports team in a way. It's like, well, that's like, why would you want to try to do that?
Right.
It's
like, I'm a 49er fan. I'm going to be you're not going to convince me, like the Raiders. Really? Like, why would I like the Raiders?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, excuse you. Oh, we got a new person that just jumped in.
That we were referencing earlier. You're on the show. It's live.
Hi, Tracy.
Hello.
What's your name again?
Zaid.
It is Zaid. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not 2 syllables. Zaid.
No.
Zaid.
Okay, yeah.
Sweet.
I got tripped up with that.
I know. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but I got to learn. Awesome.
Yep, I was just going over, and I didn't even expect to stay on this long, so you guys got me engaged now.
I was talking if you need. We don't want to
Right.
impose too much.
And I was just telling Zaid as he came in, I was like, this is the person we were telling you about, or that CJ was telling you about with a deep history in Palestine. I was telling Zaid, we at least need to introduce you to Tracy so that you can do a separate podcast with just the two of you at some
Your
point.
future guest.
Which would be
I
awesome.
would love to, Tracy.
Any questions about Iran? That's for sure.
I know Gloria has my email. You can get it from her.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I'll make sure that Zaid gets that.
Really?
That'd be awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I always say this, and I'm so glad that Dr. West does this. He does it, to me, what made me just fall out with the Democrats, and I'm specifically talking about being a Black American or African American. Just don't call me a person of color because that irks me to the utter. I can't stand it. I'm Black. Period. The Democratic Party, Black people are their base.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot win without the Black vote. Republicans can win without the Black vote. They don't need it.
That's exclusively their vote, is not the Black vote.
Yeah, that's it, right. That's exclusively their votes. But I've watched this party tell us Reparations Study Commission. I don't need a commission to study reparations. I know the damage that was done.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't done anything to address the disparity of Black mothers dying in childbirth. You haven't done anything to address the Black people own 2% of the wealth. You haven't done all of these things, and yet we're still. It's just like, no, I don't know how to make that connection, and I wish I knew how to better do it because I don't know how to do it.
Well, we're all trying to figure that out, and I'm glad that we're in it together. It's a good group of people that we have.
And I'm sure you all come across those people. It's like they'll say they want to end the wars, but then vote for a war hawk candidate.
Mm-hmm.
We're fighting for democracy. Again, we don't actually have a democracy.
Yeah.
But if I hear that one more time, that I'm against democracy because I'm voting for Dr. West, that and Project 2025.
I mean, that's the Project 2025 one for me is like, I don't remember what it was. It was about 10 years ago. One of my brothers gave me a book to read. And it was something about, it was a political kind of introduction to politics for all of you who have not been paying attention. And I made it through the first chapter when I realized how long the process the Heritage Foundation has been working, and the Koch brothers and all these other people are like, this didn't happen overnight. This didn't happen with Trump.
Yeah.
This is if we want to counter them, it's time for us to put our boots on the ground and start putting our heads together and putting together what it is we actually want to see happen and what kind of world we want to build.
And putting in the work, too. That's
the work behind making it happen, because that's exactly why we've gotten to this point, and everybody's like, Project 2025 is something new. It's like, no, that's just a continuation of what they've been doing.
Yeah.
And it's time for us to grow some spines and put our feet on the ground and work.
The Republican Party has talked about getting rid of Social Security since I was 8.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of things I am not. I am not the brightest person. I'm not the smartest person. I'm not the best communicator. But I'm also not 8 years old. This is every single election cycle. And they're using it as a fear tactic.
Yeah.
And people are just like, well, you won't get Social Security. Joe Biden's czar of Social Security is for getting rid of Social Security. What are you telling me? He's for privatizing Medicare. What are we talking about? He's literally doing the things that are in Project 25. You don't see it?
Yep. It's pretty crazy. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Tracy, I want to share some personal experience. So I was born in Baghdad, and I lived there for early childhood. And I still remember a little bit, a fair bit. During from 1990 up until 2003, Iraq was under sanctions and embargo. And despite that, we had free healthcare and free education. And we had, and this is not something like some certain people would apply for, everyone got some sort of food benefits every month. And it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, you could go and get that. And a lot of people, rich people used to just go get it and then give it to poor people, stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you say, when you tell somebody here that, hey, we should, healthcare should be a right, it's not a privilege. It's just, education, the same thing. They call you communist.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
But
And I don't even think they understand what communism is. They're thinking Kim Jong-un. No, he's a dictator.
Yeah,
It's like those are different. And I don't think people actually understand communism.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
In its context, people say, well, Cuba's communist. Well, not really. I mean, they have free health care. They are far advanced in medical research than we are.
They have a great literature. I wouldn't mind vacationing in Cuba at all. It sounds
If Joe Biden would lift the embargo, that's the one thing Obama got right. The one thing I can think of he got right was lifting the embargo against Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
But Trump put it back on, and then again, Biden didn't. It's like, I promise they're the same person. If I hadn't seen them at that debate, I would swear up and down they're the same person. I'm like, okay, you both have no cognitive issues. You both have cognitive issues.
Right.
You both speak. You both rant on. Y'all sure y'all not some kin? Like, are y'all sure about it? Because y'all an awful lot alike.
Yep. After the debate, I was thinking, like, man, these two are the only two people that could either win or lose against each other. It's crazy. Like,
It's like sometimes I feel like I want to run for office, and then I remember, oh no, I don't, because I'm like, I think sometimes Dr. West is too nice. Because if you put me in his position, I'm metaphorically gonna swing at somebody. I would never resort to violence. Violence is not the way. But the criticisms that Dr. West has faced are the most, again, that's the whole basis of my podcast, are the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. He's a Russia bot. Really? We're still doing Russia. We're still doing Russia. Yep. So yeah, everybody at once. No, but I just, I wanted to check in with everybody. I was hoping more would come on, but I figured since the first one we were outside and had
really? Oh my goodness. Well, it's getting late where you are by now, right?
That's true. Yeah,
it's like 8:51. I go to bed like at 12 o'clock. I'm fine. But I'm like, do y'all really want to talk to me that long?
This has been great.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, because
I'm still hoping to talk to Dr. Abdullah too. So I don't know. We're gonna grab some food. I think and then give her a call.
Yeah, that's a scheduling thing. But they're out here running a campaign.
Yeah.
They have to get the word out, and so do we. To the StreamYard audience, because I see some people watching. Go to CornelWest2024.com and sign up to be a volunteer. It is not too late. This is a movement within a moment. It does not end November the 5th. It does not end November the 5th. Now, this podcast probably will, but this movement... Because again, I was just saying, I don't know what to do with it, because the show is very specifically titled.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like specific. Like, well, maybe you can
just evolve, like all good things. It'll evolve into something.
I can't think of a lick of things.
Well, you have a lot of talent. You could take this to the Justice for All parties generally, and continue this sort of.
I have a lot of what?
A talent, yes. And the drive to
wait a minute. Hold on.
As much as a little podcast, big one. And you have, so I mean you got that on me right there.
Wait a minute. You said I have a lot of what?
Talent.
I have no talent. I wish I was a better communicator.
You're clearly communicating right now.
90% of
because I'm we're in the struggle together. We're trying to get a good, decent person on the ballot because we feel like his platform. Yeah, I'm going to pick on the Green Party, and I don't mean to, but I am.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
His platform is better than theirs.
Yeah.
Yep.
People say, "Oh, Jill Stein, she's the only candidate speaking against the war." I'm like, "Excuse you? Hello? No. Dr. West has been speaking for Palestine for 40 years.
Yep.
Don't know what train you hopped off of, but his platform is so well done, and it's so well thought out, and it's so many things that people are asking for, but again, they keep falling into this trap of, I gotta vote for Harris because of Trump. And that's what I would really like to explore is why are people so scared of Trump? He's not smart enough to do anything. He's not smart enough to do anything. People are like, Trump, he's not going to do any of those things. No, he's not.
Even if he did try to do those things, all you got to do is say no. If he tries to put you in a camp, just say no, I'm not going. It's as easy as that.
Well, they may put you in jail. Okay, they put Dr. King in jail.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I'm not. This thing with Project 2025, it annoys me because the Democrats, they keep using it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish people would ask, how come they haven't came up with a plan?
Yeah.
they could literally sit down and write something like, our vision for America 2025. Nope. In the words of Kamala, I'm speaking. Y'all saw that right where she said I'm speaking to the people that booed her.
Yeah. She loves that line. She did that with Mike Pence in the vice presidential debate a while ago. She did that a lot, actually.
But Mike Pence deserved, because he was my governor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Who,
child? I don't want to start talking about that.
Yeah.
Dip-wadded.
We'll not get our dinner if we go down that road.
Exactly.
He signed an abortion bill that was so extreme, even pro-life people were like, wait a minute, you went too far. He signed a bill that said if you miscarry, you had to have a funeral for that child.
Ridiculous. How can
He-
the government mandate funerals? It's insane.
And then he took it a step further and invited priests, rabbis, preachers, and the Quaker community. I don't know how the Quaker community got involved in it. I don't know where they was at. I didn't even know we had a Quaker population in Indiana. He's so far, he's so extreme on the abortion issue. Even some pro-life people are like, ooh. Yeah, he was our governor for 2 years because Trump picked him up in the second year.
Oh, really? Huh.
So thank goodness that you got.
No, because then he became America's problem.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to do that to you. We was just trying to keep him, in the state, let him serve his 4 years, and then we get somebody else. But the Democratic Party in Indiana is just, you want to talk about a colossal joke. See, I don't even want to get on this because it's like what, 8:57? I could literally talk about how messed up the Indiana Democrats. It's like they just want to lose. They're like, okay. Like they don't fight. They don't do anything. They just, well, we're in the minority. What can we do? I don't know. Organize?
Yeah. Majority.
Or just start a new party.
Or start a new
Justice
party.
for all and let go of them.
That'll have to be
Sign
next
on. I
week's
like that
episode.
one.
I'm hoping we're headed that way, but we need a ton more volunteers. We're down to like 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we need way more volunteers than what we have. Which again is why you should visit CornelWest2024.com to sign up to be a volunteer. Because we do. Even though, he's a write-in candidate and our effort to get him on the ballot wasn't successful. It was successful in a sense because I get to write him in.
Yep.
That's good.
And I'm not forced to vote for. I'm speaking. Oh my gosh. I don't know why she annoys me as bad as Trump. See, Trump doesn't annoy me because he's so dumb. It's like.
And he's entertaining too. Like he's an entertainer. That's his job.
He
So
makes it funny, but you realize this man is not smart.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, how can you have that much money and be that stupid? Like, are you serious? I'm like, look, I'm as poor as. Well, I'm gonna say what Dr. West said. I'm broker than the 10 Commandments.
Yep.
But I'm way smarter than Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He's all like, and commonly termed black. I'm like, just hand her the election. Just say, hey, here, take it. I did tell everybody again. This is another announcement for the StreamYard, and I will next week, September the 3rd, next Saturday, whenever that is. I won't have a guest unless somebody just absolutely wants to come on. My goal is to talk about the platform. They're all looking at them like nobody. Look, I asked at the street at the Zoom meeting. People were like, I'm like, okay, everybody at once. Not everybody at once. Let me write all these names down. I think it's me. I literally think it's me. I literally think, nah, I don't want to talk to her.
No,
No,
is it gonna be Saturday or Sunday?
No, it's always Saturday. This show always comes on.
Okay.
Normally it comes on at 7 p.m. Today we were on at like 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came on at 8 to do like a recap. And that's what I'm doing now. But next week it'll be 7 o'clock.
Okay, because I get off work. I'll be working next Saturday. I get off work at around 4:30. I'll be home at 5, maybe.
4:30.
Oh, so yeah, hit me up by email. But I wanted to start talking about, because I just don't have a life. I'm on the committee to plan a demonstration in DC January 25th, 2025.
Okay.
And we'll be putting up, not today, I'll probably do it tomorrow, send out a big huge email, because even if Dr. West wins, no, let me backtrack that. When Dr. West wins,
Yes.
I'm like, look, you said this is what you were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he wouldn't mind us doing it. But it's time for us to speak out. I'm so tired of, let's have this useless war. Let's get in war with Iran. Again, what did Iran do to us? We used to have a peace agreement with them. So now we don't have a peace agreement with them. What happened? Why don't we have it anymore? It's just like the military-industrial complex and money in politics. Well, money in politics is just destroying everything.
Yeah.
When a party can brag about raising 500, is it billion or million?
Million, yeah.
Like, you're bragging about this? Like, you could build a hospital. You could literally build 3 million houses. You could take that money and build 3 million houses.
It's a good point.
But you're bragging, yeah, we raised this money. What are you doing with it?
Yeah.
She's saying, I'm speaking.
Terrible.
That agitated me. So I was like, they gonna just let her say that? And so I want to be hopeful. I am hopeful. But sometimes it takes me to talk to myself to get there. Because I'm just like, people don't want change. They don't. Because they keep voting for these people. Wait a minute.
Your good work. They'll learn the truth slowly.
It took me. You could not tell me anything bad about Obama in 2008. No. Oh, I was drinking the Kool-Aid. Oh my gosh. I was just, you couldn't, I'm like, nope. You're just criticizing him because he's black. Totally forgetting about the drone strikes. Totally forgetting about bailing out the, like, I just looked over it. And then I woke up. And I think, well, Bernie kind of helped with that. But that kind of got my mind. I'm like, oh. Because I have voted for Nader in the past. I voted for Nader in 2000. That's how old I am.
Oh, my. Thanks so much, Tracy. I think I'm going to have us wrap up at this end so we can have a little
that's right. So, you guys need to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm going to get off. I'm going to get off because I'm going to release you guys because I've taken up all your time. I did not mean to. Thank you for holding the house party. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. And if you want to be on the show, of course, get Gloria to give you my email and we'll work it out.
We'll do that.
Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so, yep, kick guests. We're going to kick the guests. Okay, so we kicked him out. Nelson. Talk about being dumb and being rich. Look at Bush Jr. He's absent-minded, though. Because he did say for doctors to practice their love of women. Yeah, you may have a point. Guys, I went a whole hour. I'm looking at what I did. So what we gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this up. If I don't get an interview next week, I will still be on Labor Day weekend. Either I will have a guest at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or I will talk about the rest of the platform, probably going over the whole thing all over again. So it's going to be one or the other. Remember to visit CornelWest2024.com. Definitely visit the website. Make a donation. We don't raise, money from corporate interests. The money is used to build the campaign and not to line Dr. West's pockets. You can rest assured that the campaign is working hard to get the message out there, but we just need help from volunteers all across the nation to help us take the message further. Thank you for watching. We're going to do our outro, and then we'll see you. So it'll be just a moment here. We're going to do our outro.